One of the most anticipated games of this year.
Fantastic.
Complex.
Awesome. I know we can't wait to get our hands on it.
Intense.
Wow, so that's like really intense. And
Intense. Just wow.
intense.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Can't wait to learn more. Thank you.
Hey, about a week ago we finally got some news on Dying Light 2. They gave it a new title, announced a hopefully final release date, and showed some new gameplay. With this, they also started this series of scripted interviews where Techland employees pretty much interview other Techland employees and act like it's some sort of journalism.
Looks like you guys have a very unique world and a very unique game. Where y'all get your inspiration from?
But of course, it's all a big marketing show.
You know that.
I just want to say I have high hopes for Dying Light 2, but before we all fall for this gigantic marketing machine behind this, let's not forget what has happened in the last years. Dying Light 2 has spent the last years pretty much in development hell. Let's go to some of the things that have been happening in the last years. Dying Light 2 was first shown at E3 2019 and was supposed to release in the same year. Over time, multiple reports of problems surfaced. Dying Light 2 was then delayed multiple times, and in 2020 it became public that the game's writer Chris Avellone, who previously worked on many famous games such as Fallout New Vegas, is allegedly a sexual predator who forced himself on multiple women at gaming events. After that, Techland stopped working with Chris Avellone, and the game that already had problems now needed a new writer and was in the headlines for the scandal. Of course, I don't think the game or the company should be held responsible for the actions of Avellone, especially since they stopped working with him. But of course, this is not the only problem that occurred during development. Over the years, multiple employees of Techland have come forward and talked about the problems within the company and within the Dying Light 2 project. One of the most recent articles published by the website The Gamer in February 2021 highlights some of the biggest things that have been going on at Techland. In the center of most of the criticism seems to be the CEO, Pavel Machevka, who seems to be kind of a dick, who uses homophobic language when he voices criticism and has a picture of a naked woman and a tiger in his office. I'm not making this up, the source is linked in the video description. The Gamer has interviewed multiple current and former Techland employees who mention bad planning, chaotic work structure, and a general toxic work environment being responsible for the problems in the development of Dying Light 2. What they are saying is that all these problems have led to so many people leaving the project over the years, which of course leads to new people taking over roles, having to start over, not being familiar with what has been done before, and overall chaos. Of course, video game development is known for usually not going smooth, and lots of projects had problems like this, and lots of games came out being amazing after reports of stuff like this. But one of the things that I'm really concerned about is they mentioned that creativity is not appreciated. The employers pretty much say that every time someone comes up with an idea at Techland, they have to show proof of concept. What that means pretty much is they have to show how that same idea was already applied in a different project, in a different game or something. What that leads to is that it's not possible to implement original ideas. Everything has to be proven to work somewhere else. While of course not every game can and should invent everything new, I still feel that is a really worrying statement when talking about a project like this. There's more problems mentioned in the articles, but I feel these are the main ones that I found the most relevant. Of course, you could say that the people that give interviews like this are the ones that are unhappy with the project and with the company. Because why would you give an interview like this if you're happy with everything you're doing? And I'm sure there's lots of people working at Techland having a wonderful time. But I also feel that we should listen to reports like this. Because what happened with Cyberpunk? There were similar insider interviews and people were just too hyped about the game to listen to them. And see what happened. The thing that worries me and the thing that led me to make this video and talk about it is the way that the marketing is handled for Dying Light 2. Those Dying to Know episodes feel just so similar to the Night City Wire episodes that Cyberpunk and CD Projekt used to promote their game. What I mean with this is that they look so polished. They put so much production into this and they make it look super nice and near perfect. And for me, that is suspicious, to be honest, because till now we've only seen seen the game in a near perfect state where they show scripted gameplay. Like, you have these fights that just work out perfectly. It's not as chaotic as in the first game when you play it yourself, right? Where you just sometimes swing your weapon and just hope to hit something, especially when you are new to the game. And then the way the character uses the parkour, of course, they never accidentally just fall down somewhere. You have rooms where you have perfectly placed enemies that you can just kick out or you can just use your moves on. Before I'm convinced, I just want to see someone who plays like a real player play the game. Because in this day and age of gaming, and gaming companies have shown us this over the last years multiple times, you can't be sure what you're seeing unless you play it yourself or unless you have a real journalist playing it and not just some fake gameplay that was orchestrated for marketing. I want Dying Light 2 to be amazing, but we can't even be sure that we've seen Dying Light 2. To be honest, Techland haven't proven that Dying Light 1 wasn't a lightning in a bottle. They haven't proven that they can consistently make amazing games. Apart from Dying Light, they have done Dead Island, which is pretty much like a prototype of Dying Light with a lot less features. And they have been doing Call of Juarez. Both of these franchises are mediocre, especially in nowadays standards. And even Dying Light has flaws. Lots of the quests are just fetch quests. The story is not a strong suit. So at least at this point, I feel there's more reason to distrust the hype than to be super excited about the game. And I just really hope that they used all this time to actually improve the game and not just fix avoidable problems that they created in-house. I understand that they still have to release the game for PS4 and Xbox One since they announced it so long ago, but of course that also is one of the things that created the main problems with Cyberpunk, and I personally don't expect the story of Dying Light 2 to be the strong suit. They have to nail the gameplay, and that means it has to be super smooth. You have to feel amazing doing the parkour, and the verticality of the world will be the things that make or break the game for me. And I'm not saying that this game can't be amazing. I think there's a lot of potential here. I'm just saying that we as a gaming community have to be smarter. We can't fall for stuff anymore. We need proof that things are good. And especially in times where, as I said, all we've seen from the game are pre-made trailers and extremely obviously scripted gameplay. But of course, they already want you to pre-order that €100 edition with 2 additional DLC packages with stuff that you don't even know what it's gonna be about.
It's time for you to go pre-order it.
Like a game that isn't even finished yet. Like, they already want you to pay for content that they might not even know themselves what they're gonna do with it.
You can pre-order the collector's edition. However, it is very, very limited, so you'll have to be very quick.
And if you fall for that after what they've shown till now, I think you are wrong. You're doing it wrong. Also, fuck that statue that they were showing, man. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, wow. I want one.
How much do you want for that? Looks like garbage. So all I want to say is, let's not make the same mistakes again. Let's just keep the hype in check. Let's ask the developers questions. Let's wait for them to really show us what we are getting until we put down our money. And let's get hype when we really know what is there to get hype about. Let me know what you think in the comments. Bye.